Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Schumann Stadium here on the campus of Ball State University as WIW-TV and Indiana Wesleyan University brings you CIC high school football action. It's game 3 of 4 this afternoon, and the game we have for you here is the Oak Hill Golden Eagles and the Elwood Panthers, along with my partner Kyle Johnson. We're joined by Zach Allen down on the field to bring you this afternoon's action. Should be a great contest. Oak Hill, of course, undefeated, 3-0 on the season. Elwood, coming off the big victory against Mississinewa, is 2-3. We're going to check in before the kickoff with Zach Allen down on the field.
Thanks, Roger. I was able to catch up with some of the coaches beforehand and get an update on Joel Dirks, and he is ready. He is dressed and ready to play if needed, but he's still banged up after last game, so we'll keep an eye on him. And with Oak Hill being undefeated, some of the keys to victory for Oak Hill is to take care of the football. They have had way too many turnovers to some of the coaches, and then also they wanted to control the offensive and defensive line. Back to you, Roger.
Well, number 32 for Oak Hill, Joel Dirkus. Kyle, the guy has been running roughshod over everybody this year. 5 games gone on schedule, but really in playing in 4 games, he has over 1,100 yards. It's just a spectacular job.
To the second half. Oak Hill will receive.
Well, Oak Hill is going to win the coin toss. And they actually, Elwood won the coin toss, deferred to second half. Oak Hill going to receive the opening kickoff. But getting back to Joel Dirkus, he was a game-time decision. He's a little bit banged up. And as Zach told us, he can play if needed, but looks like Oak Hill's going to probably go with Noah King, the junior tailback, move him from that fullback spot over. And Noah did a pretty good job last week against Blackford.
Yeah, but like you said, Joel Dirkus is just unbelievable so far this year. 1,100 yards, like you said, Roger, and practically 4 games is insane. He's just unstoppable. So if he's able to play, we'll give a spark to this offense, even if he's not full strength.
Of course, the Golden Eagles of Oak Hill, under Coach Bud Osmond, 5-0, 3-0 in the CIC. As we said, Elwood 2-3 right now, but they are 2-1 in CIC play. Game we had last week here on WIW-TV from Gas City. They pulled the upset as they really took it to Mississinewa in a big victory there, 19-7. And so Elwood, they have some ideas about shaking up things here in the CIC. They'd love to hold on to the CIC milk jug that they won last year. Took it away from Mississinewa. They want to hold on to it for another week.
Yeah, Elwood surprised a lot of people, including myself, last week, upsetting Mississinewa in Mississinewa's place for homecoming. A great game played by them, and I think the defense, just like in that game, is the key today for them in stopping the run of Oak Hill. No matter if Dirkus is playing or not, they're going to have to stop the run in order to win this game. So it all starts with defense for Elwood. What can they do to slow down this rushing attack?
Back for the Golden Eagles to receive the kickoff, Christian Livingston, number 22, and I believe that's number 8, Alex Small, back there as well. Getting ready to kick it off for Elwood will be Kyle Cornwell, and we're underway. A short kick taken at the 25-yard line. Oh, there's a fumble on the play. And looks like Elwood is going to come away with the football.
A great start for Elwood. And we saw last week they had a similar play on a kickoff.
Yep.
They took it all the way to the house to start the game. This time they're on the receiving end, and they just get a fumble, a gift right off the bat from Oak Hill, and jumped on the football. Great play for Elwood to start this game. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Well, Elwood will have outstanding field position to begin this drive. They'll have it 1st and 10 right at the 40-yard line for Oak Hill. So right off the bat, the Oak Hill Golden Eagle defense will have to come up with a stop here. At quarterback, number 12 is Grayson Savage for Elwood. And there he hands it off to number 2, Jake Wilson. Jake Wilson, an outstanding tailback in his own right. Had a huge game last week against Mississinewa, but Wilson does a lot for Elwood. Kick return, punt return, their lead tailback.
Just, yeah, in the I formation there, and generally a good running formation, but not much there on the first play of the game.
After the gain of only a yard, it'll be 2nd down and 9. Again, the handoff to Wilson. Gets a couple more yards, but it'll set up a 3rd and long for Elwood. So Elwood looking to get Wilson involved in the offense here early. But Grayson, we saw last week, he can move around a little bit as well. He can throw on the runs. We'll see what they do on third down.
Yeah, they have options offensively. Elwood's a little more balanced than Oak Hill is. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to utilize the pass.
I formation, 2 receivers split to the left. A little bit of a mix-up, and Savage is in trouble, and he's going to go down back outside of the 40-yard line at the 42. That play was messed up from the beginning, and Brody Hardcastle took down Savage for the big loss. It'll be 4th and 12. Elwood will have to kick it away.
Well, great penetration off the edges. You see both the defensive ends in the backfield. Grayson Savage makes one miss, but Brody Hardcastle is there from the other side to complete that sack.
Not a good snap, but the punt does get away, and it takes an Elwood bounce, a very good bounce for Elwood inside the 10. Still rolling inside the 5, and it'll be down at the 4-yard line. That's a tough break for Oak Hill because, you know, with a kind of a strange punt like that, they have to get rid of or get away from the football, but it takes a great bounce for Elwood.
Does take a great bounce, especially after that botch snap. We've seen today a lot of punters having problems with getting the snap and getting the ball up in the air in one motion. But, yeah, excellent field position for Elwood's defense. Not great for Oak Hill's offense, but a running football team can get out of the end zone quickly with a couple.
Noah King, the starting tailback for Oak Hill, takes the first handoff. Gets a nice little push, a pickup of about 4 yards, maybe 5. First offensive possession for the Oak Hill Golden Eagles.
And going back to what Zach said before the game, this is the matchup we're really going to take a look at. Is the offensive line of Oak Hill versus the defensive line of Elwood. Who wins this battle will say a lot about the final score, I think.
Adam McDivitt, the quarterback for Oak Hill, sat out a couple games with an injury, came back last week against Blackford and had a nice performance. I know the coaching staff very happy to get Adam back in the lineup because he can run the ball as well. Short gain there on 2nd down, so it'll be now 3rd down and 3. A long 3 for Oak Hill.
A good defensive stand there by Elwood's defense. Ethan Morris getting into his gap and stopping the run 3rd and 3.
Elwood shut down the run of Mississinawa last week, and it really forced Mississinawa to do some things they didn't want to do. Here's the pitch to the left side. There's a flag on the play as Livingston is knocked out of bounds outside the 15 near the 20-yard line, but this one could be coming back.
Looks like it'll be a holding call on Oak Hill. Saw them try to mix it up and get to the edge that time. There was space for Livingston there. If the hold, I'm not sure, probably helped that out a little bit, but they'll back it up because of the penalty.
And the preliminary call indeed is a hold.
And it's right.
Holding against the offense.
There on the edge, you kind of see a couple guys have jerseys in their hands, and if it's that obvious, they're going to call it every time.
Well, instead of 1st and 10 at the 20, it'll be 3rd and, let's call it 8 for Oak Hill. Ball spotted back at the 6-yard line.
So a potential break for Elwood's defense because that would have been a 1st down. Now they're facing 3rd and long, which is tough to do when your primary attack is running the ball.
Well, and they're going to go back a few more yards as the offensive line for Oak Hill moved. I think it was the right guard. Just lost his balance and moved forward.
The offense. Repeat, 3rd down.
3rd and long is not the situation Oak Hill wants to be in.
No, and penalties really disrupt rhythm offensively, especially when you're a running team. You kind of get that up to the line, open up the holes. That can really kind of affect the rhythm of an offense.
McDivitt with the keeper. He has to pitch it back to Livingston. Not much running room as he heads towards the right sideline. He gets out to the 10, but it'll be 4th down, and Oak Hill will have to kick it away. The Elwood defense comes up with the stop on Oak Hill's first possession.
Good job of Elwood's defense there of staying in their gaps and not committing everybody to the rusher outside. a good individual effort by Livingston to actually break some tackles and make some things happen.
And that's some dangerous territory they were in down there. If McDivitt is hit, it could have been a safety. Punt is up and away, and Wilson never saw it. Takes kind of a lateral bounce out to the 47, 48-yard line. And now there's a flag at the very, 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 very end of this play, right in front of the Oak Hill bench. I don't know if that's a substitution or if Elwood had made. I wonder if Elwood had too many guys on the field. We'll wait and see. I don't think the rest of the officials know there's a flag on the play yet.
Sideline warning, Oak Hill.
Well, with the sideline warning, there is no mark off of any yardage on that play, but the next time there will be. So Elwood will have it 1st and 10. They begin their second possession with the ball in Oak Hill territory at the 48-yard line. And off to Wilson. Pretty good hole that time and some good yardage. Pick up a 5 yards on first down for Wilson.
Jake Wilson is going to be a big key to whether or not Elwood can put points on the board. Last week, obviously, against Mississinawa, had the kick return to start the game off. That was a huge contribution, also had a long run. So his productivity is really going to determine how well Elwood does offensively.
3 carries already for Wilson, 9 yards, but they'll just keep plugging away. That time he's met in the hole by Josh Trahanchek. Nothing doing there for Wilson. He maybe got a yard. No gain on that play, so it'll be 3rd down and 4 for Elwood. They move quickly.
And Elwood can pass the ball. Grayson Savage is a great quarterback. So we'll see if maybe they try to start using the run and then all of a sudden maybe draw the safeties up, use some play action, see if they can get some good yards through the air eventually.
Zane Boyer, the fullback, gets the handoff. He plows his way. Well,
looked like the exchange of the football was a fumble, and Savage just jumped on the ball.
I did not see that fumble. The break for Elwood is Savage was able to recover, but it sets up a 4th down play.
And that's the thing, when you're running the read option, that's one of the underrated aspects of it, is actually getting that exchange, because it's all depending on what the quarterback sees, and as you can see there, sometimes there's miscommunication.
Livingston and McDivitt back for Oak Hill. High kick, end over end, taken by Livingston at the 12. Slips one tackle, 20, 25, 30. And then run out of bounds out near the 35-yard line at the 34. So the best field position of the first quarter for Oak Hill, as they'll set up 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line.
Good return here by Livingston, able to obviously break that first tackle, get to the edge. Not as much space as I think he was hoping, but still a good return to get your team out of that maybe field position hole they were in on the last drive.
Well, Oak Hill will send Caleb Maggard, the big receiver, wide to the left. Noah King, the lone setback. McDivitt hands it to King. Cuts it back up the middle. Picks up about 5 yards on first down, and now another late flag that comes flying in at the end of the play.
Oak Hill is going to be productive no matter who's running the ball, even with Durkis not really playing that much in this game. And not sure.
There's no penalty on the play.
All right.
Looked like 51 for Elwood tripped over his own player. Maybe they thought he got pushed or something by Oak Hill, but we have seen a lot today of penalties, at least in the first game, of unnecessary roughness after the play, dead ball fouls, but nothing there.
Same formation here for the Eagles, actually now coming into the slot wide left is Durkis, who's into the lineup. I'd take that back. That's Livingston. Nothing doing that time for King. In fact, he may lose a yard. 4th carry already for Noah King. We just met.
Good job. Yeah, defense just swarming, and that's the thing. Oak Hill's a little bit one-dimensional. if you can't pass the ball, especially with Durkis out, your best rusher, Elwood can just stack the box and look for that run every time.
Kane Stone with the stop that time. Sets up a 3rd and 6. McDivitt rolling to his left, throwing down the run, has his man complete right at the first down marker. That was completed to number 24, Caleb Maggard. And it is indeed good enough for an Oak Hill first down. So a nice throw on the run here from Adam McDivitt.
Yeah, first throw of the game by either team, and some pressure there, but able to get the pass off and wide open. That's pretty easy once you see there's nobody in front of you to catch that football.
Kane Stone unloaded on McDivitt right as he released the football. McDivitt pitching it to Livingston, turns it upfield. Picks up about 3 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
This is a great game if you love old school football. Running and defense. Not a lot of passes probably throughout this game, but Oak Hill 1 for 1 when they've aired it out.
Yeah, 1 attempt from McDivitt. Good for about 10 yards on that play. It was a first down. And now Oak Hill starting to, you said rhythm earlier when you were talking about Elwood's offense. Oak Hill now starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. McDivitt keeps, rolls to his right. Tons of room. Oh, Noah King with a nice grab. And he gets it inside the 40, down to the 36, down to the 35-yard line. That throw was just a little high, but Noah King was able to get his arms extended and made a very nice grab, and it's an Oak Hill first down.
Great catch by Noah King, and this is partly because of the play action. You see all the Elwood defenders moving to their right.
A pickup of 17 yards on that pass play, and Oak Hill by far in their deepest territory here as they get it inside the 40. McDivitt keeps it, and he's going to lose a yard. And he lost the football, but I think it's after the whistle. Elwood thought they had a turnover there.
I think they're going to say he was down, or at least his momentum was stopped. The ball came up before he was on the ground, but I think they're going to say forward progress had been stopped at that point.
The officials are gathered together here. Wait to see what they say.
We had an inadvertent whistle. We will replay first down.
Well, so apparently that play did not exist, Kyle.
That's unfortunate for Elwood because if that was a fumble and the ref jumped the gun, that would have been their ball because they hopped on it.
I don't know that I've ever seen that. Inadvertent whistle, no play. Here's a pitch back. Livingston has to break to the outside. Cannot get away from the tackler. Is drugged down at the 30-yard line. Pick up of 5 yards, though.
That's good speed. That was Grayson Savage on the tackle, the quarterback for Elwood. Good speed on the outside to track Livingston down, not let him get to the outside where he had more space.
Oak Hill mixing it up on the runs. That's the third carry for Livingston. Noah King with 4 carries. Adam McDivitt. Really no designed runs for him yet to this point, but trying to make do without Joel Durkis in the lineup. Here's the handoff to King. Plows his way forward, close to the first down marker. If he gets to the 35, it'll be a first down. And it looks like that's exactly where the spot will be.
Oak Hill's just going to do this all day. They're going to run the ball, and when they have an opportunity, even on that play, it was man coverage on the outside with a cornerback and a safety. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if Oak Hill takes some more chances through the air because their running attack is forcing Elwood to stack the box and leaving defenders out one-on-one.
Well, this drive started at the Oak Hill 34-yard line as we have a timeout for measurement. A good drive for Oak Hill at this point. 7 plays. They marched it all the way down to the 25-yard line of Elwood.
Third down.
Just shy of that first down mark.
On this drive, Oak Hill's offensive line is winning the battle, but Still a chance for Elwood's defensive line. This would be tough to stop with 6 inches to go.
Well, Elwood against Mississinawa, as we just briefly touched on earlier last week, controlled the line of scrimmage, shut down a really good Mississinawa running attack, and forced Mississinawa out of their game a little bit. And Mississinawa threw the ball 40-plus times last week. That is not what they want to do. So far today, Oak Hill been able to move the ball on the ground. Here's Noah King, breaks one tackle inside the 20, inside the 16, down to the 15-yard line. A pickup of 10 yards and another Oak Hill first down.
A couple missed tackles. King's a good running back, but if you want to slow down this attack, you're going to have to wrap him up the first chance you get. But that's where you need to see defenders getting to him so that it's not just one-on-one arm tackles that he can run right through.
25 yards already for Noah King on 6 carries. He's lined up once again in the backfield. Now in motion is Livingston. And there's a motion penalty, I believe, going to be called here on Oak Hill.
Encroachment on the defense.
No, it's offsides on Elwood, or encroachment.
I think that's the same thing.
It's a much fancier term. So that will change things up here a little bit. As Oak Hill, instead of 1st and 10, we'll have it 1st and 5. Gives you a little more leeway in what you want to do offensively here. But the Golden Eagles putting together a very impressive drive. This is the 10th play of the drive. As they hand it off to Noah King once again. Gets it inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line.
Good tackle by Kane Stone. That's what Elwood's going to have to do, is just tackle well. Oak Hill's essentially going to run it almost every play. You got to look for that and shore up your tackles.
McDivitt has Livingston now in motion to the right. He takes the pitch. Tries to crack it to the outside. Has room inside the 5 into the end zone for the touchdown, but there's a flag on the play, and I have a feeling we're going to see a hold once again. This time it could cost Oak Hill a touchdown.
Oak Hill is backing up.
Holding on the offense.
Not hard.
Well, instead of 6 on the board, Oak Hill is going to march back 10 yards. They'll have 2nd down, and let's see, it'll be probably about 2nd and 12, maybe 13 to go. We'll wait and see, depending on where the spot of the penalty was.
I'm not sure Livingston couldn't have just gotten into the end zone on his own without some of those blocks, but either way, the penalty backs them up.
Well, a big penalty makes it 2nd down and 12. McDivitt rolls to his right. Under pressure, he's going to throw on the run, and it is intercepted at the 5-yard line. Now there's a late flag on the play. Elwood, though, has picked off the pass. Boy, if this is a penalty against Elwood for a late hit on the quarterback, that would be disastrous.
Hayden Howell with the interception. We'll see if it stands.
It's holding on the offense. The penalty is declined.
Well, an Oak Hill drive that was very impressive ends on the 13th play with the interception. And instead of 6 points, we have the interception.
That's part of the danger of using a rollout, is sometimes defenders can just sit in coverage and read the quarterback's eyes, a little bit underthrown because of the pressure, and that's a big break for Elwood down in the red zone.
Well, Elwood will have it 1st and 10, ball at about the 12-yard line. Nothing doing for Wilson. Tell you what, the Oak Hill defense has done a good job on Jake Wilson. A pickup of only 1 yard on that play.
Just the battle of the lines again, the O-line of Elwood, the D-line of Oak Hill. Oak Hill dominating the time of possession so far.
Only 11 yards on 5 carries for Jake Wilson. So good job defensively here in the first quarter for Oak Hill. We're under 15 seconds now in the first quarter. Another mix-up, it looks like. This time Wilson has a little more running room, but he's hauled down after a gain of only 3 yards, and so it'll be third down now. And with that play, we'll have the end of the first quarter. A fast-moving first quarter where Oak Hill really dominated in terms of time possession and yardage, but couldn't come away with the points after that big penalty. Well, with the end of the first quarter, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're watching Oak Hill and Elwood here on WIW-TV.
They say I've been handed a heritage. Now it's time to leave a legacy. I will, we the team with the recipe. You can talk about it, I don't let it get the best of me. Why? Cause we're under his shield. Ain't too many people get to know how it feels to be the nation champs only under his will. And we putting everybody right in front of us, still fearless. We enter in the season, no miss. Team with the spirit, everybody know this. Glory to the Father, hooked us up with the assists. And we praying for the roster, checking people off the list.
Welcome back to Schumann Stadium. Let's check in with Zach Allen down on the sidelines.
Thanks, Roger. I've noticed that the bench has kind of been in a neutral position throughout this whole first quarter, and the keys to victory was, one of them was take care of the football, and we have seen that with some of the early penalties against Oak Hill. And some two players that I've noticed really stepping up this first quarter was number 22, Christian Livingston. He's really stepping up and driving the ball hard, and also number 2, Adam McDivitt, playing a good job at the quarterback position. But I'll find out some more information later on this first half. Back to you, Roger.
Boy, Oak Hill indeed has done some good thing on the offensive side of the football, but a fumbled kickoff and then the interception has really slowed down. Here's a fumble on the handoff, and looks like the Panthers are able to get it back. So on the big third down play, Elwood will lose a yard. It'll be fourth down, and the Oak Hill defense makes a stand, and they'll force Elwood to kick it away.
That's the second time we've seen Grayson Savage have problems with the exchange of the football and his running backs, something they need to fix. You wonder if they might take some cues from Oak Hill and start passing the ball, use some play action, because so far they've just run the football and it has not worked. 3 and out for the Elwood Panthers. The punt is away. Livingston fields it at the 47. Makes a move inside the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. So Oak Hill will start this next possession in outstanding field position. And there is a flag on the play. I didn't see it over there. Lots of penalties to start this game off.
Yes.
A little sloppy.
Well, if it's against Elwood, would Oak Hill decline it and just take the outstanding field possession, or will they kick it away? See, the official is going to talk it over with Coach Bud Osmond. Well, this is WIW-TV coming to you from
motion on the
Schumann
kicking
Stadium.
team. The penalty is declined.
Along with Kyle Johnson and Zach Allen down on the field, I'm Roger Alcock. Corey Key, our spotter today. What a great place if you're a high school football player to come and play a game and enjoy the atmosphere. And it's not only your game, but you get the entire conference together in one day. A lot of fun.
Great field, great stadium to play it at.
McDivitt hands it off to King. Breaks one tackle inside the 30. Nice gain on first down from Noah King. Picks up what looks to be about 7 yards, maybe 8. That'll be second down.
Even with the turnovers that Oak Hill has had, time of possession will be a big factor, especially down the road, third, fourth quarter. I think we're already seeing some of the effects of that. Elwood's defense has been out there for a long time. against the run of Oak Hill, it's going to be tough to continue to get at the line of scrimmage and stop those runs.
After the pickup of 8 yards, be 2nd down and 2. Livingston in motion, handoff to King. Big hole right up the middle. 1st down yardage and more as he gets it down to the 20-yard line. And the Oak Hill offensive line starting to assert itself here a little bit, opening up a little bit bigger holes. That Elwood defense has been on the field a lot already.
Yeah, big holes from the offensive line right up the middle. I think you and I could have run through that pretty well, probably.
Noah King probably not as fast as Joel Durkis, but he's a strong, powerful runner. That time he takes the handoff, tripped up immediately, and loses about a yard. But Noah, of course, his father, the wrestling coach at Oak Hill, knows a little bit about leverage and playing low, and that's huge for a tailback.
Great effort by Derek Bryant to get through the line of scrimmage, timed the snap perfectly to get in the backfield. So far, Noah King has done well in this game to gain yards on every carry.
Yeah, 10 carries. He's carrying the load. Kind of the bell cow, if you will, 43 yards already. Takes the handoff here. No, it's loose. It's on the ground, but Livingston comes away with it. Mix up that time between McDivitt and King. That was a little scary for the Eagles.
Could have been their 3rd turnover already. Livingston, a heads-up play to see this ball. And that was just laying on the grass for anybody to take. Heads-up play by Livingston to jump on that ball.
Well, it will be 3rd and 7. That ball was on the on the turf a long time. I feel very fortunate to come away with it. 3rd and 7. Livingston in motion, takes the pitch. Has some blockers, turns it up inside the 15, inside the 10, a big gain of about 15 yards as he gets it down to the 7-yard line, and Oak Hill will have it 1st and goal at the 7.
Well, you get the Thunder with Noah King, you get the Lightning with Christian Livingston on the outside. Oak Hill doing a good job mixing up their runs, not necessarily running and passing, but their runs inside and outside. Difficult to defend when you're used to seeing Noah King up the middle, and then all of a sudden you have outside with Christian Livingston.
30 yards already for Christian Livingston on 4 carries. Oh, this time King is hit before he even takes the handoff. I don't know how he was able to hold on to the handoff. That was a scary play right there, as Boyer was right there along with Derek Bryant for Elwood.
Yeah, Bryant again off the defensive line. Great penetration, and swarm. That's what you're going to have to do to slow down Noah King, is to force him backwards before he really has a chance to get his momentum going and his feet moving.
Derek Bryant averages 15 tackles a game for Elwood. He's by far their leading tackler. 2nd down and 11. Here's the pitch. Turning it up is Livingston inside the 5. Dives forward to the 3-yard line. And so now it will be 3rd and goal from the 3. Savage in on the tackle for Elwood.
This is a manageable 3rd down. You can see Oak Hill converting this, but it'll be interesting to see if they don't, what they do. Do they try to punch it in on a 4th down, or will they kick a field goal?
Another impressive drive for Oak Hill. 7 plays in this drive already. Looking to cap it off. So give it to Noah King. Inside the 2. Touchdown, Oak Hill. And the Golden Eagles get on the scoreboard first on a 3-yard touchdown run from Noah King.
That push is just a result of being on the field a long time for the defense. Oak Hill only up a touchdown now, but you feel like Elwood's got to feel like they're down by a lot. The offense hasn't even seen much of the field, it seems like.
In for the extra point is Joel Durkis. Is that Ullman in there? No, it's 82 Ullman who kicks the extra point for Oak Hill. So the Golden Eagles cap off an 8-play, 34-yard touchdown drive on this 3-yard jaunt from Noah King.
Just the domination of the offensive line. Good push. Pretty easy for Noah King to punch that in. Now we'll see if Elwood's can answer that. They've struggled to get a first down even. I wonder if they'll start trying to air out the ball or if they continue to go with Jake Wilson, because so far the defense of Oak Hill has been expecting the run and shutting it down.
Oak Hill Golden Eagles on top 7-0. 7:21 to go here in the second quarter. This is our third game of 4 this afternoon. The nightcap will be the Eastbrook Panthers and the Mississinewa Indians. Eastbrook 5-0, 3-0 in the CIC. Mississinewa 3-2. They're 2-1 in CIC play, but Mississinewa would sure love to get back to back on the winning track after really a subpar performance last week against Elwood. But you know, last year Mississinewa defeated Eastbrook twice, and with 35-21 in regular season, then huge in the sectional. So Eastbrook looking for a bit of revenge. The kickoff is high end over end, taken at the at the 9-yard line, and out across the 25, out to the 28-yard line. On the return for Oak Hill was Tice Towner.
Good return by Towner. It seemed like he stumbled a little bit, lost his footing because he had some space right there. You see him fall down. There was a little bit of green in front of him. But biggest thing for Elwood right now offensively, I think, is just start moving the football, getting a first down, getting some momentum, some rhythm on offense. They really haven't been able to do that so far.
It's at 32. Of course, that's the 28-yard line for Elwood to begin this drive. That time, Boyer, the fullback, gets the handoff, and he has to work his way for a gain of 2 yards. Not much running room at all here for Elwood.
Oak Hill's winning the time of possession battle, but it just seems like Elwood has barely had the ball offensively to me.
Exactly. Each drive has only been 4 plays, 3 plays and a punt. 4 plays and out, or 3 plays and out. That time, Boyer is able to get very close to the first down marker. We'll wait and see. Good second effort that time by the fullback for Elwood, Zane Boyer.
There is a flag. So Elwood
Holding against the offense.
Yep. No wonder there was a hold. But Elwood started their first drive at the 46, 4 plays. They had the punt. Terrible field position, the second drive, 47-yard line. They had to punt, 3 and out. And then when they were back all the way at the 13-yard line, let's take a look at that replay. Had to punt on 4th down. So this Oak Hill defense has been really as impressive as the offense has been.
Looked like Ethan Morris might have had the hold for Elwood there.
2nd and 14 now. Savage rolling out to his right, under pressure, throws on the run, a sliding attempt, but out of bounds was Tice Towner. I couldn't tell, Kyle, if he made the grab, but his feet was out of bounds.
Looked like a catch to me, but his feet were on the chalk, so doesn't count, unfortunately. Looked like a good catch by Towner, though.
3rd down and 14 for the Elwood Panthers.
Boy, good pursuit still by Oak Hill's defensive line.
You know, the thing is, for Elwood, they've not been able to get Jake Wilson the football out in space. I don't know if they can pitch it to him, maybe throw it to him out of the backfield, but they've got to get him out in space a little bit. Play action, Savage under pressure, flag down, and so is the quarterback as he's sacked back at the 18-yard line by big number 70, Owen Perkins with the sack. Wait to see what the flag is, but I think it's going to be a procedure penalty on Elwood.
Boy, I wouldn't want to take a sack from Owen Perkins, 6'2", 280. That does not feel good.
An eligible receiver downfield. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, another drive that Elwood will have to kick it away.
That
4
was,
drives, 4 punts.
that was not even a minute off the clock. And the defense has to go back out there for Elwood.
Low line drive. Bounce taken at the 48-yard line and then down immediately.
Number 14, Travis Davenport.
Actually, that was Travis Davenport back for Oak Hill returning the kick. So Oak Hill will have very good field position to start this next drive and plenty of time with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left here in the first half.
Pretty good punt and good coverage, not letting Travis Davenport get even better field position
Oak Hill starts this drive
for the Golden Eagles.
47-yard line.
Adam McDivitt in at quarterback for Oak Hill has only had to throw the ball twice because they've been so effective on the ground. And once again, a big gain for Noah King on first down as he picks up, let's say, about 7 yards on that play. 50 yards already for Noah King. 13 carries, that one a 7-yard pickup.
If Elwood can't get a good jump off the defensive line, Noah King has been able to run for 8 or 7, even 9 yards every carry.
And he's going to be a guy that will get stronger as he gets more carries and as the day goes on. A nice little gain there on second down. Will be very close to a first down. Looks like he's got it from here. I don't think we'll need to measure it. We'll wait and see. Nope, first down, Oak Hill.
Oak Hill that's what they do. They run the ball.
What I like from Noah King, though, is I do refer back to his wrestling background just a little bit. He's hit by one guy, two guys, but he's falling forward. He's always moving forward. Very rarely are you going to see him getting knocked backwards. The timeout on the field with 5:17 to go here in the first quarter. Oak Hill has the 7-0 lead. Next week at 7 p.m., and I don't think that's right. It's
That's actually tonight.
Oh, my mistake. Next week will be Oak Hill Eastbrook, but tonight at 7 o'clock, Mississinawa will take on Eastbrook, streaming live, coming to you from WIWTV.com. I got ahead of myself, Kyle, because I'm excited about next week. Let's check in with Zach Allen down on sidelines.
Thanks, Roger. I've noticed that the possessions for Oak Hill have seemed a bit longer, and I asked one of the coaches why that was, and he said that they're a running team, so possessions may seem long, but it's just the way they do things. So I'll keep in touch with the coaches to see, and also keep an eye out for how long the possessions will be, and you can see with how they run. Back to you, Roger.
Absolutely. If you're Oak Hill, you want to possess the football, matriculate it down the field.
Great word. Did you just pull that out of a hat?
No, that was John Madden, I believe. Inside handoff. No, McDivitt keeps it. 45, 30, 25, 20. He's going to go 10-5. Touchdown. Adam McDivitt. Adam McDivitt rambles some 43 yards for the Oak Hill score, and just like that, it's 13-0 Eagles. What a great fake that time from Adam McDivitt. But they've been running the ball to Noah King so effectively, it makes the fake work.
Exactly. That read option, Noah King's been very effective up the middle. That allows McDivitt on a read option to run around the outside. Nobody there to stop him. That speed down the sideline, easy touchdown.
Extra point is up, and it wasn't pretty, but it is good. And so the Golden Eagles, with 5:10 to go here in the first half, have taken a 14-0 lead over Elwood. 4-play drive capped off by the long run from Adam McDivitt.
Yeah, here's a replay. There you just see all the defenders swarming to King, and McDivitt has the speeder on the outside. Nobody there in the secondary. Made that look easy.
Really the first designed run for Adam McDivitt, and he goes 42 yards for the score. The Oak Hill crowd right below us a little bit fired up, and they should be.
That's just demoralizing for Elwood's defense. It's a great lift for Oak Hill and the offense and the offensive line. It's one thing to just keep giving up 7-yard runs, which is demoralizing in its own right. But then you see McDivitt around the outside and a quick strike, 42 yards, and all of a sudden Oak Hill's up 14-0.
And just like Zach talked about, Oak Hill long drives, possessing the football, moving down the field. This Oak Hill defense, as we talked about, has just totally shut down Elwood. 3 and out every time, forcing punts. Elwood desperately needs something here in the next 5 minutes before halftime to get something positive going on the offensive side of the football. Maybe even get a score and get some momentum back on their side before the half. High kick taken by Wilson at the 15. Waits for his blockers, gets out across the 25. Now to the 26-yard line where he's taken down right there on the tackle for the Golden Eagles, Zach Morris.
As impressive as Oak Hill's offensive line has been, we talked about that being a key for them in this game. Their defense has looked phenomenal, not allowing Elwood to get anything on offense. Here's the the kickoff return. Jake Wilson, again, just swarmed, and that's how their defense has played.
Actually, that's Brody Hardcastle on the tackle for Oak Hill. Stuart Mossholder helping him out there at the end. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Elwood. I formation. That's a lateral to the wideout that time, but it's defended perfectly by Oak Hill, and it'll be a loss of 3 yards. Landon Deal on the reception there, but that's a throw, but that was a lateral.
Oak Hill's defense is physical and fast. You see them swarm in the open field. Not much you can do about that. And I still believe Elwood's got to throw the ball down the field if they want to hope to get a first down, because so far the run has not worked.
2nd down and 13 for Elwood. Oak Hill showing blitz here. Here's the pitch to Wilson. Slips through one tackle, but is tripped up as he gets to the 30-yard line. So Elwood will get 7 yards back, sets up a 5 yards back, sets up about a 3rd and 6.
It's the first time it seems that Elwood's been able to get a hole for Jake Wilson to run through and a good open field tackle.
Elwood moves quickly. Here's the pitch. Wilson, little bit of running room there, but he will be stopped well short of the first down. Jake Wilson, who came into this ball game with, I'll check the halftime, but he's averaging well over 100 yards a game on 8 carries so far in the first half, only 24 yards. And if there was a question mark on this Oak Hill team, was defensively. They had given up maybe more points than what you would expect this season, but they have been outstanding here in the first half. Here's a snap on the punt. High kick, end over end. Takes a bounce at the 42, a good Elwood bounce. And now rolls inside to 30, all the way down to about the 28-yard line.
Malachi Jones's punt. Dies at the 28.
The defense of Oak Hill has been
Check Oak Hill.
what has allowed them to score points. Don't forget, Oak Hill had 2 turnovers early in this game.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it at all, because I'm not even sure if Elwood has a first down yet.
No, they do not. 4 possessions or 5 possessions for Elwood. Everyone's been a 3 and out. Jake Wilson, 120 carries, 758 yards on the season, averaging 152 yards a ball game. Here's Noah King, breaks one tackle, breaks another down the left sideline into Elwood territory, where he's finally knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Noah King just getting stronger with each carry right now.
He's not the fastest guy, but once he gets on that second level, it's tough to bring him down just because of his size and physicality. More huge holes by the offensive line. Tough to bring him down just based on how big he is. And we're seeing the Elwood defense get pretty tired out there.
Noah King, a pickup of 20 yards that time. He has 73 yards here in the first half, carrying the load with 15 carries. I formation. Oh, a fumble though, and Elwood's going to take it at the 49-yard line. Falling on the football for the Panthers was number 51, Ethan Morris, and a problem on the exchange that time. I don't think. Is that Noah King in the fullback spot?
Yep.
But yeah, King and McDivitt there. You would never think that Oak Hill would have 3 turnovers in the first half and be up 14-0.
Now we just have to see if Elwood can do anything.
Savage on the roll, throws, has his man. Across midfield into Elwood territory, inside the 40, where he's finally hauled down after a gain of about 14 yards into Oak Hill territory, down to the 38-yard line.
St. Boyer on the reception, and finally Elwood gets a first down. I think they should have gone to the pass sooner, simply because Oak Hill has shut down the run game, and Jake Wilson's a talented halfback, but unable to do anything. If they can now try to have a more balanced attack, get the running game going, that'll open up the passing game, play action, maybe have some big plays down the stretch.
Savage, hand off to Wilson, slips one tackle, can't get away from the second, as he picks up what looks to be about 2 yards on that play. That'll be second down and 8.
That time they try a cutback, a counter play with Wilson, and up the middle and to the outside. Neither of those have really worked so far for Jake Wilson.
Alex Henry just came flying in from that safety position to make the stop. Be second down and 8. Savage under center, I formation with Wilson deep. St. Boyer's close. Play action to the right. On the run, throwing in through the hands of Boyer. He had the first down.
Yeah, Boyer had a little bit of space. Noah King actually defending him. You got to catch that ball. That would have been a first down. Instead, now it's 3rd and long. But I like that play call because Elwood had man coverage. And if somebody breaks free, all of a sudden you're talking about a huge swing of momentum, potentially a touchdown, which Elwood desperately needs.
3rd down and 8 for Elwood now. Boy, they would just love to get some points on the board before the first half. Minute 44 to go. Savage with the play action. Under pressure, hit as he unloads, but this man is wide open, but he dropped it. Well, I shouldn't say dropped it, but it was just over his hands. The intended receiver that time was Aaron Litherland, and he had a step on the defender.
He had his defender beat. Just a little miscommunication on the throw where it was going. He kind of turned his head the wrong way and all of a sudden lost the ball over his shoulder, but he was open, and that would have been a big play. Definitely a touchdown, but unable to complete that throw was Grayson Savage.
So Savage was under pressure. If he had about another second back there, that might have been a touchdown. Here's a quick pitch out here to Towner, trying to make a move, but just not enough room there, and a nice open field tackle by Brody Hardcastle. And so on that 4th down play, the Golden Eagles hold, and they'll take over on downs.
Again, a pass play. A screen against this defense is not going to get you a lot of yards. I do believe, though, Elwood will have some good things going into halftime. Maybe in the second half, see some more passes down the field. Try to get something going offensively.
Well, Transier and Hardcastle in on coverage, making the stop there. Here's Adam McDivitt rolling, throws on the run, and a good decision just to get it out of bounds. So Oak Hill with a minute 24 to go here in the first half with a 14-0 lead. And after committing 3 turnovers in the first half, they're still being pretty aggressive with the play action pass.
Yeah, good coverage in the secondary, not allowing the receiver to break free. But I think Elwood, if they can hold them in the next minute 24, should be happy that they're only down by 2 touchdowns because Oak Hill has 3 turnovers. Elwood has one first down offensively. So 14-0 isn't terrible based on that half.
Noah King, inside handoff. Good yardage up across the 40 to the 45-yard line. Right at the 45-yard line. That should be good enough for Oak Hill first down. And it is. Minute 13 to go here in the half.
And Elwood will get the ball to start the second half, too. So a stand here without allowing Oak Hill any more points will be big for them going into the half.
Inside handoff. King puts his shoulder into it. Picks up
Noah King, the ball carrier.
maybe 3 yards on that carry. And now Coach Bud Osmond is going to
Timeout.
call a
Oak
timeout.
Hill. It's their first.
That'll be the first Oak Hill timeout. They'll have the football, second down, and let's call it 7 from their 48-yard line with 1:02 to go here in the first half.
They're really using King on this drive on that left-hand side of the field. A couple bigger plays before that one gained 3.
17 carries in the first half alone for Noah King.
He's getting all of Joel Durkis's carries.
Oh, yeah. They've mixed Livingston in there a little bit. He has 5 carries for 38 yards. Adam McDivitt, of course, had that one huge 42-yard touchdown run. But for sure, it's been Noah King carrying the load in terms of offensive side of the football for Oak Hill.
The absence of Durkis hasn't hurt Oak Hill.
No.
You just get the sense that if he was playing, they might be up by a little bit more. But Elwood's got to be thankful he's not, because he is a beast.
2nd and 7. Here's a little trickeration, inside handoff to Livingston. Coming around on the sweep, breaks one tackle and another. Inside the 40, down to the 35, down to the 33-yard line. A nice gain there by Livingston. And Oak Hill now with 52 seconds to go. They're in striking distance. A nice gain there by Livingston.
Injured player timeout.
And there's a timeout on the play as Landon Deal is down for Elwood. He's one of their better players.
He looks pretty shaken up. I'm not sure what happened on that play, if he had an awkward hit or what, but that's just the thing. Noah King's presence on that left-hand side of the field, you just saw, even if he doesn't have a breakout run necessarily, he's got a good average going. When the defense sees Noah King initially try to run left, they're going to move that way, and that opens up the entire middle of the field for Livingston on this play. And he's just got speed to capitalize in open space. And that's exactly what that play call was. They ran with Noah King to the left a couple times in a row. Then all of a sudden you bring Livingston back in the middle. It's wide open.
Pick up about 18 yards on that last play for Livingston. He's up near 60 yards here in the first half, carrying the football 56 yards on 6 carries. And then we see Dio getting up, and he's going to walk off the field.
Good to see him walking off on his own power. He looked like he was in pain initially.
Saw an earlier game where, I think it was in the Blackford game, where a player took a real shot to the shins, and he was down for a while. Was able to get up eventually and walk off, but
You see on the right-hand side of your screen,
his own guy.
just an awkward landing on that left leg.
And off to number 35, Noah King.
Noah King with another carry there on that first down play. Picks up 2
Oak Hill.
yards.
Timeout.
And
Their
Oak Hill's
seconds.
going to use their second timeout. They want to get some more points on the board before this first half. And I think
Made that tackle for
you got to, obviously, you're looking for touchdowns here. A long football or a long field goal is really not in play here. Not many high school teams, you get the rare occasion where a high school team is going to be able to kick long field goals, but
I think maybe they might be trying to kick if they can. A couple more warning plays. They do have one more time out. You never know if you can get down to the 20-yard line. That's a makeable field goal. It wouldn't hurt to at least try for it if you're unable to get into the end zone.
yeah, but you think you'd have to get down at least to the 20, if not inside the 20. At the 20, that's a 37-yard field. That's a pretty long field goal.
That's what the kickers are for, right?
I thought kickers were for soccer. Second down and 8. McDivitt takes the snap. Straight drop. Unloads down the sideline. Has Maggard wide open. Inside the 20, down to the 15 to the 14-yard line. The clock will stop for the first down. at 31 seconds, but as soon as the ball is set, the officials will wind it up. 1st and 10, Oak Hill.
14-yard line.
Maggard, with his first reception, picks up 16 yards.
To stop the clock.
And he being McDivitt, so we'll look at this replay, will stop the clock.
I'm not sure. It looked like some people were in man and others, like the linebackers, were in zone. Either way, a huge hole in the secondary for McDivitt to throw into, and it's a pretty easy throw when you're that wide open. Looked to me like Oak Hill's trying for another touchdown.
Caleb Maggard, a big target out there at 6'6". Lone setback is Noah King. McDivitt straight drop. Under pressure. Oh, he fires across the middle. And it sails out of the back of the end zone. That was a little bit dangerous. And so now it'll be 3rd and 10 for Oak Hill. 23 seconds to go.
Pretty good pressure by Elwood's defense. Somebody at the back of his jersey, still a pretty good throw based on his positioning. Fortunate, though, it wasn't picked off. That was kind of just I don't think his arm was hit. He was still able to get full rotation on the ball, but dangerous throw nonetheless.
McDivitt straight drop. Lofts it towards the corner end zone for Maggart, who goes up, got his hands on it, but it falls incomplete. Into double coverage that time to Caleb Maggard.
Holding against the offense.
Oh, there's a holding penalty anyways.
Still
Henry Ullman on the coverage that
great
time.
coverage. Hayden Howell is the corner in coverage, and there you see he get his hand in there. Would have been a difficult catch.
Well, the question now, does Elwood take the penalty or do they
Holding
decline it?
against the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
They will indeed decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down. Ball's at the 14-yard line. And looks like Oak Hill is going to try a field goal. So to spot or in for the hold is Brody Hardcastle. Henry Ullman in for the attempt. This will be a 31-yard field goal attempt. Snap is down, the kick is up. It is long enough, but it was pulled to the left, no good. Hey, he gave it the old college try.
Looks pretty good from this angle. But
Yeah, I thought it was going to be good.
a little bit left. Elwood, fortunate the way Oak Hill was driving to come away without Oak Hill putting more points on the board. And Elwood, considering the fact they have one
doubt.
first down this entire first half, can't be too upset being down 2 scores.
Well, that Oak Hill drive of 8 plays stalls out at the 14-yard line. They missed the field goal. Elwood with 14 seconds to go here in the first half, and the ball all the way back at their own 20-yard line, I would think would just hand it off here to Wilson here or take a knee and go into the locker room at halftime. Give to Boyer, the fullback, on the handoff. And that should be the final play of the first half. Well, Oak Hill, defensively, they have shut down Jake Wilson on 9 carries. He has only 26 yards. Unbelievable job by that Oak Hill Golden Eagle defense. And only 14 yards or so passing for Elwood. They have just been shut down on the offensive side.
They have some adjustments to make.
All right, well, we are going to take a break for our halftime show. At the half, Oak Hill 14, Elwood 0. You're watching CIC football on WIW-TV and WIW-TV.com. Welcome back to Schumann Stadium here on the campus of Ball State University. This is CIC High School Football being brought to you by WIW-TV and WIW-TV.com, along with my partner, Kyle Johnson. I'm Roger Alcock. We're going to take a look at some stats from the first half unofficially. Take a look at the score. Oak Hill on top, 14-0. And really just a dominating performance here. Oak Hill here in the first half, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, 14-0 doesn't seem so bad when you look at the rest of the stats. Oak Hill, offensively and defensively, shutting down Elwood. 230 rushing yards. Lucky it's not more. Joel Durkis isn't even playing, and he's their leading rusher.
First downs, Oak Hill 6-3. The reason the lead is not bigger than 14-0, quite frankly, is the two fumbles, the one being on the opening kickoff. And then, of course, McDivitt was picked off inside the 10-yard line when it looked like Oak Hill might be going in for an early score. So had it not been for those 3 turnovers, as well as some penalties more in the first quarter than in the second quarter, this might be a little bit even different story. Take a look at some highlights of the first half. Adam McDivitt on the roll.
There's the interception.
Yep.
That was, the game was still scoreless at that point, so a big turnover there. Elwood's forcing 3 turnovers is what's keeping them in this game, quite frankly. 14-0 isn't a terrible hole based on the yardage that Oak Hill has been able to have on the ground. Here we'll see Noah King, and that's actually another turnover that didn't go Elwood's way.
Yes. That first interception was early on, and Oak Hill was kept out of the end zone. But this time, Noah King, who's had a huge first half, just is able to snowplow his way in the end zone for that Oak Hill touchdown.
That's just what Oak Hill does, methodical drives, short runs, and
18 carries in that first half alone for Noah King, 89 yards. He had that touchdown there, and Oak Hill, as we said, on top 14-0. But if you look on the other side of the football, Jake Wilson, we saw him last week for Elwood at Mississinawa. He had a huge game there. He did a lot, not only in terms of running the football, but special teams. Oak Hill's done a great job shutting him down. We'll talk a little bit more about him. But first, we're going to take it back down to the field for our man on the sidelines. That's Zach Allen. I'll check back in with Zach in a few minutes when his mic is back working. But getting back to Jake Wilson, in the first half, Kyle, 9 carries, only 26 yards. His longest run was only 7 yards. From a speedster back,
yeah,
that's either bad offense or great defense.
I think it's more defense than it is offense. We've seen Elwood move the ball against Mississinawa, who's a talented team, but Oak Hill's defense just played phenomenal. And both of these teams have positives and negatives. I think Oak Hill, the 3 turnovers hurt them, but they're still up 14-0. Elwood, you're only down 14-0, despite offensively doing nothing, essentially. And Elwood, we saw last week against Mississinawa, a couple plays here and there. 2 big plays were huge for them. And that's all it would take for them to get back in this game. But Elwood's defense has to step up a little bit and try to slow down Oak Hill's rushing attack.
For Elwood in that first half, they had 7 possessions. That last possession, the 7th one, the first half expired, but every one of those possessions resulted in basically 4 plays, 3 plays and a punt, except for one possession where they got 1 first down, and that drive was only 6 plays.
Yeah, just no production offensively for Elwood. And defensively, not doing a terrible job, only allowing 2 scores, 14 turnovers. So some positives and negatives for both teams.
Let's check back in with Zach.
Thanks, Roger. I managed to catch up with Coach Osmond before he went into the locker room before halftime, and one of the things he said was sustain equals good results. That's why we are seeing a lot of long possessions. And what Coach also said is that he feels like it should be more than 14-0 right now. And one of the things he wanted to stress going into the second half was that he wanted to take care of the ball. So we're definitely going to have to see if the Eagles will take care of the ball in the second half. Back to you, Roger.
Talking about Coach Bud Osmond, a longtime successful coach at Oak Hill High School. And Oak Hill, I think, doing a good job not looking ahead towards Eastbrook next week. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the kickoff in the second half of action here on WIW-TV.
They say I've been handed a heritage. Now it's time to leave a legacy. I will, we the team with the recipe. You can talk about it, I don't let it get the best of me. Why? Cause we're under his shield. Ain't too many people get to know how it feels to be the nation champs only under his will. And we putting everybody right in front of us, still fearless. We enter in the season, no miss. Team with the spirit, everybody know this. Glory to the Father, hooked us up with the assists. And we praying for the roster, checking people off the list.
Back here from Schumann Stadium, we're getting ready for the second half of action. Now, Kyle Johnson, this game has a lot more at stake than what most people realize because there's a traveling trophy here in the CIC. Mississinewa, they had the milk can, and Elwood took it away from them last week, and so now Elwood took it home, painted it up in their red and blue, and Oak Hill would love to take it back to Mir with them tonight and paint it blue and gold. Yeah, the winner will take it. Well, the winner keeps it. You keep it as long as you keep winning, but it's kind of a unique trophy because it's not just two teams. It's anywhere in the conference. So Eastbrook fans are thinking, hey, Oak Hill, you win that can tonight, we'll take it from you next week.
I mean, that's a nice looking trophy.
Do you know who else plays for a milk can in college football? In the famed rivalry trophies?
Michigan,
games?
Ohio State?
No.
Oh.
Boise State and Fresno State play for the milk can.
I knew it wasn't Michigan, Ohio State. I just know you're a big Blue fan. So
They don't have to have a trophy for that can. Now, the oldest trophy in all of college football, the original, is Michigan. Minnesota, the little brown jug. Fielding H.O.'s took it because he didn't trust Minnesota to give him fresh water. When Minnesota beat Michigan, they forgot the jug, and Minnesota said, you want it back, you come and win it. That's how it started. Well, they're underway here in the second half. Kickoff is taken there by, who was it up man there? Number 86, Aaron Litherland. And a great return and some good field position here for Elwood to begin the second half after bobbling the opening kickoff.
that was almost a repeat of what we saw in the first half when Oak Hill fumbled the initial kickoff, but able to corral that ball. And, yeah, good starting field position for the Panthers. We'll see if they can get a first down here.
First possession of the second half for Elwood. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Nice yardage there on first down, and that was the best hole that was opened up for Jake Wilson as he picks up 6 yards. And gets it right to midfield. And Elwood would like to do this where they get some rhythm on offense, get into the, get up, get plays off quickly.
Yeah, good holes opening, and they're already going to snap the ball here, so maybe they can hear you right now, Roger.
Wilson fighting his way into Oak Hill territory down to the 45-yard line. And so 2 plays and a first down for Elwood. As you said, we had one Elwood first down in the first half. Starting out much better here in the second half for the Panthers.
You may have touched on it, though. Tempo could be a way for Elwood to combat this Oak Hill defense. If they can speed up the play calling, get Oak Hill tired, that might be a better option for them.
Wilson, a nice pickup there, but there's a flag on the play. He had 10 yards there, but it might be coming back.
Flag on the near sideline.
Way over by Oak Hill's sideline is the flag.
let's see. Let's wait for the call.
Illegal formation on the offense. Repeat, first down.
Well, that'll wipe off that 10-yard gain there from Jake Wilson. And just so just when Elwood gets a little rhythm going here on offense, they shoot themselves in the foot with the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, an ill-timed penalty for sure. That would have been another first down for Jake Wilson. Something they've had little of so far, so the penalty negates a lot more than just 5 yards.
Savage under center. Zane Boyer in that fullback gets the inside handoff to Boyer. Nice pickup there. About looks to be about 9 yards on that gain for Boyer, and it looks for sure that this Elwood Panther offensive line has come out here in the second half a little bit more fired up, and they're really getting a much better push and opening up some better holes.
It all starts with the offensive line. We've seen Oak Hill's offensive line dominate so far. Elwood's trying to do the same thing. A good hole again that time.
Well, Wilson takes the pitch, turns it upfield, but there's a flag on the play. We'll see who this penalty is on.
Didn't appear from that angle that there was holding in our picture, but
A foul. Chop block on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Well, instead of the ball being at the 46-yard line, it's going to go all the way back into Elwood territory, and it'll be at the 44 of Elwood.
well,
15-yard penalty.
yeah, penalties will just kill any momentum you have on any drive, especially the 15-yard variety, and the Panthers looking good, but not so good with the penalties.
But second down, it looks like about 21 now. Wilson, big hole across midfield. Back into Golden Eagle territory down at the 45-yard line, so a gain of 11 yards for Wilson. Wilson has probably just about as many yards in this
Third down and 10 for the Panthers.
half as he had in the first half. Maybe not quite, but it just seems like it.
Bigger holes for sure for Elwood to run through so far in this half.
Yeah, if he had 26 yards in the first half, I think he has 26 yards in the second half. Rolling to his left, Savage on the run. Is hit as he unloads the ball. Towner was wide open. He had broken free inside the 10-yard line, but that pass from Savage was just overthrown. And you know what? We saw it last week where Grayson Savage has a pretty good arm. That time, just a little too much arm.
That hurts. Towner was pretty open in the secondary. Nobody between him and the end zone. Savage has to make that throw. That would have been a big play we were just talking about. Big plays, striking quickly. We'll get them back into this game. That was a missed opportunity for the Panthers.
Drive stalls for Elwood after some critical penalties there. And so with 4th and 10 at the 45-yard on Oak Hill, they'll have to kick it away. And look at this formation. I don't know I've ever seen a punt formation where they're that spread out. Kick end over end, bounces and taken at the 6-yard line by Livingston, trying to get away from the tackler as he gets across the 15, taken down at the 17-yard line. Well, make it the 18.
Pretty good return. That ball might have rolled into the end zone if you let it go, but the Panthers are closing in on that, so probably a better idea to just take that ball.
Derek Bryant on the tackle for Elwood. 1st and 10 for Oak Hill, their first possession of the second half here. Have it at the 18-yard line. McDivitt hands off to Noah King, and at the fullback position gets out across the 20 to, let's see, about the 23-yard line. Looks to be a gain of 5 yards. Noah King approaching 100 yards on the afternoon unofficially. Right now, 19 carries for 94 yards.
We saw Elwood's offense make some adjustments, creating some better holes. We'll see if the defense can hold so far. The first play, Zach King looking like he did in the first half.
Here's the pitch to Livingston. Turns it back towards the middle. He has the first down as he gets out to the 30, and then a late flag from the side judge comes flying in on the tackle.
Difficult to see from our angle. Only thing I could think of would be a face mask. No other Oak Hill players are in the area.
They're getting ready to march it off against Elwood.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense. Yeah, first down.
Well, Oak Hill had the first down at the 31-yard line, but 15 more yards will get him close to midfield. And that'll be 1st and 10 at the 46.
New line of scrimmage is the 46-yard line.
3 penalties for Elwood to start the third quarter is not something they wanted to do.
No. West Transier, an in motion from left to right. The inside handoff.
35,
Noah King. That time, no gain on the play. In fact, he may have
Initial contact by number 32, Zane Boyer.
lost half a yard. We'll call it no gain on the play.
Boyer and Bryan again for the Panthers getting in there defensively.
No gain, second down.
2nd down and 10 for Oak Hill. This is their first drive of the second half and the 14-0 lead. Elwood showing blitz. Here's the pitch, and caught in the backfield is Livingston. He's going to be drugged down for a loss of at least 5 yards.
Livingston, the ball carrier, tackled in the backfield.
Kane Stone, great open field tackle in the backfield, forcing
Loss of 4.
Livingston to try to cut it back inside, just nowhere to go. He's tried to bounce it outside there, but great tackle by Stone.
Well, 3rd and long now for Oak Hill. I don't remember a 3rd and long like this in the first half. Quick drop. McDivitt on the run. Hit as he throws the ball. It falls incomplete
Pass incomplete.
for Elwood, number 52. I don't have 52 on my roster, but 52 was pressuring Adam McDivitt, made him throw it well before he was set to throw, and it'll be 4th and 15. Oak Hill will have to punt it away.
Good stand defensively by Elwood, especially after that face mask penalty, not Facebook.
Lines up to punt for the Golden
There's no
Eagles.
penalties for that, unless maybe you're doing it during the game. But
Well, there should be penalties for what some people put on Facebook. Caleb Maggard back to kick it away. Good high end-over-end kick. Takes a Oak Hill bounce at the 30. Now down inside the 20. Still rolling, and will be down at the 19-yard line.
Down at the 19-yard line, and that's where Elwood starts 1st and 10.
1st and 10 for Elwood. It'll be their second possession here of the second half. They trail, though, 14-0. Get a good look there at the defensive coordinator for Oak Hill, Coach McDivitt. Well, he's done a great job getting the team ready for this ball game. Savage takes the snap, pitches it to Wilson. Works the right side. He has a hole. Across 30, 35, 40. He's in the midfield. 50, 45, still on his feet, and is finally hemmed in and hauled down inside Oak Hill territory. Down inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. The tackle finally made by Adam McDivitt.
that's exactly what Jake Wilson needed to get him going and his offense. Big play, huge run there from Wilson. That was similar to what we saw last week, kind of the edge to the right, cut back through the middle, finds the gaps, and then just the speed in the open field to get big yardage.
Yeah, by far the biggest gain of the day for Elwood. Inside handoff, and that time for Elwood carrying the ball is Kane Stone. We've seen him make some good stops on the defensive side. Stone, I believe that's his first carry, picks up 2 yards.
Here's a replay of Wilson. You see him. This is a design play to the outside. but it just opens up in the backfield, in the secondary, and then one cut. And look at all that green. Good save by Adam McDivitt on that tackle. He was the last person between Wilson and the end zone.
About 60 yards or so on that carry. Stone breaking free, close to the first down marker, just shy of the first down it looks like.
Stone, the ball carrier. Number 10, Henry makes the tackle.
And all of a sudden, this offense that couldn't do anything in the first half has life.
Third down and 1.
And they're creating some great holes for their running backs.
After that 55-yard gainer from Wilson, he got a little breather. Stone out and Wilson back in. Boyer in at fullback. Towner split way out wide to the right.
Savage with the full quarterback.
Savage faked the handoff to the fullback that time. Zane Boyer kept it, plowed his way forward for a couple yards.
Just a little read option play.
Yep. Enough to get the first down. And this Elwood team now with their by far best drive of the day.
16-yard line.
Boyer with the handoff. Picks up a yard, maybe two. Now there's a whistle.
Number 32, Boyer, the ball carrier. There is a marker
Good
down.
defense by the front seven of Oak Hill that play.
It was
swallowing him up.
There was a flag on
Face
the
mask
play.
against the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So an inadvertent face mask gives Elwood 5 more yards and makes it now a second down and
Repeat, first down.
actually it'll be first down, of course. Repeat the first down, but first and third. Wilson works his way
Number 2,
inside
Jake
the
Wilson,
10,
ball
down
carrier.
near the first down marker. So he'll be just shy
Noah King make the tackle for Oak Hill.
of that first down. It'll be second down and 1. Noah King in on the tackle.
The difference so far from this third quarter as opposed to the first half is the time of possession. Elwood is getting long drives now. They're able to get first downs, which has totally changed what Oak Hill is doing offensively.
Wilson hit at the line of scrimmage, still fighting his way forward. He's going to be very close to that first down marker. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, to your point, this is not. That was just the 8th play of the drive. That last play there for Elwood, and by far their longest drive in terms of yardage and time of possession. It's short of the line to make for the first down, so it'll be third down. Boyer, no, keeping it Savage. He's hit and dives forward to the 5-yard line, just inside the 5, so he will have the first down for Elwood and make it first and goal.
Good job of Savage on that play, keeping his legs turning. That last little effort, I think, is what gave them the first down. 3 defenders there for Oak Hill, and that little effort there at the end by Savage picks up the first down.
Touchdown here makes this a whole new ball game, doesn't it, Kyle?
Oh, boy. For Elwood, that would be huge.
Wilson, huge hole right side, goes into the end zone untouched. And just like that, the Elwood Panthers put together a 10-play drive, go into the end zone for the score, and they've cut this to a 14-6 ball game with the extra point to come.
All of this thanks to that big run by Wilson. Really kind of, you felt the spirits change for Elwood a little bit. All of a sudden, they're thinking, hey, we can do this.
To attempt the extra point for Elwood is number 81. Big fella puts it up and through the uprights, 14-7. 10 plays, 81 yards, and Elwood draws to within a touchdown and an extra point of Oak Hill. Make it a 14-7 ball game.
Yeah, this third quarter just feels different already. At 3:13 left in the third quarter, and Elwood has had the ball the majority of the third quarter, which feels a lot different from what Oak Hill did in the first half, where they were dominating the time of possession.
Well, you certainly get a sense of the field as we look across the way. The Elwood Panther fans who didn't have much to cheer about at all in that first half are on their feet now cheering on the Panthers. You know what it is, Kyle? They want to keep that milk can.
That's it. Somebody showed them the picture we had at halftime.
The milk can and they got to keep it.
Here's a replay. As you said, huge hole. And now the offensive line is starting to get something going for Elwood, and that's made all the difference in the world. And the Oak Hill defense has not looked like what they did in the first half so far.
We talked about Jake Wilson. We knew what he was capable of. And with that huge run where he had 55 yards, but now he has 116 yards on 16 carries. He only had 26 yards at the half, so he's rolled off 90 yards here. And there's still 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Short kick is taken by the up man across the 40 out to the 42-yard line for Oak Hill. That was Wes Transier, the sophomore, with the return on the kick. And Oak Hill will have it 1st and 10 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the third quarter from their own 42-yard line.
Elwood had a good defensive stop last time Oak Hill had the ball. Can they produce that time and time again throughout the fourth quarter, especially when it matters most? Oak Hill is still going to try to run the ball down the field like they had in the first half.
McDivitt hands it off to Noah King. A flag comes flying in after King picked up about 3 yards, but this one is most likely coming back.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense.
Spoke too soon. Elwood has really hurt themselves here in the third quarter that's their third personal foul, I believe, here in the third quarter.
Yeah, amazing they were able to get that touchdown because of the penalties, and that just helps Oak Hill move the ball. Looked initially like from the spot it was a holding. Looked like they got Kane Stone, I'm not sure. Didn't look too bad to me, but I'm not a ref, so.
With the penalty marked off, the football will move all the way inside the 40-yard line of Elwood down to the 39-yard line, and Oak Hill will set up shop there. McDivitt under center. He has Noah King at the fullback. He takes the handoff, hit at the line of scrimmage, and fights his way forward for a gain of 2 yards. 22 carries now for Noah King. 2 yards shy of 100.
He's a big back, and this is Oak Hill's game. They've had some bigger runs, but for the most part, not getting enormous chunks of yardage, but just wearing out the defense.
Travis Davenport, number 14, split way out wide to the right, bottom of your screen. Single setback is King. Big hole left side, 30. 25 as he pulls his way down to the 24-yard line. Good blocking up front that time. And Noah King rides it for a first down. Oak Hill down to the 24-yard line. He goes over 100 yards with this carry.
Yeah, like you said, big hole for him to run through, and that's a big man coming through the line of scrimmage. Tough to take down when he's got that head of steam behind him.
13-yard pickup that time for Noah King. She said over 100 yards, 111 now for Noah, filling in for Joel Durkis. Handoff one more time. Noah King.
And that's where you see the penalties really come into play. All of a sudden, 2 or 3 drives, 2 or 3 plays, excuse me, and Noah King and them, they're in the red zone already because the 15-yard penalty kind of helped them get a little spark, and all of a sudden a couple runs, they're knocking on the door of another touchdown.
2nd down and 6 after the gain of 4 yards on the play. Another handoff to King. First down marker, and now a late flag as I think that might have been Derek Bryant, but he grabbed a hold of the helmet of Owen Perkins and just slung it halfway across the field. That's going to be another personal foul on Elwood, you got to believe. Okay, Noah King picked up about 5 yards on that last carry, 6 yards. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It'll be an Oak Hill first down. Wait to see what the penalty is here. But I think Bryant's going to pick up the personal foul.
Unsportsmanlike against the defense. The result of the play is a first down, half the distance to the goal line.
See if you can see it on the replay here. Down at the bottom of your screen there. Boys being boys.
Yep.
Well, Owen's doing what he's supposed to do. You play to the whistle. And blocking downfield. Brian got a hold of the face mask and gave it a little tug.
Another penalty.
Yeah.
Not going to help Elwood, especially if Oak Hill gets a score to answer Elwood's initial touchdown.
That'd be a great reply by Oak Hill if they can march the length of the field. Noah King inside the 5, plowing his way towards the goal line. He's down at the 1. It's been all Noah King on most of this drive, and why not?
Same old thing. Bread and butter for Oak Hill.
We're going to have to pull out a new stat sheet for Noah King. He's up to, gosh, 26 some odd carries. Second down and goal. Ball to 1. King left side, touchdown. Noah King puts the Oak Hill Golden Eagles on top by a score of 20-7. And Oak Hill just replies to that last Elwood touchdown by driving the length of the field themselves and take the 7 points right back.
King's second touchdown on the afternoon is a big one for Oak Hill, though. Head into the 4th up 2 touchdowns.
Here's the snap. The kick is up. It is no good, though. Wide to the right. I spoke too soon when I said 7 points. They get 6 back. But after the missed the extra point, it'll be Oak Hill 20, Elwood 7.
Boy, look at that push by the offensive line. Into the middle of the end zone was the defensive line for Elwood. And not going to get it done when the ball is on the 1 yard line. Now, Roger, we'll see if Elwood can respond. They finally got some offensive momentum with Jake Wilson. Can they do it again and answer right back?
24 seconds remain here in the 3rd quarter. Oak Hill puts together a very impressive drive that time. Capped off by the 1 yard touchdown by Noah King. He's up in the near 30 carries. 27 carries, 131 yards.
And just imagine this Oak Hill team with Joel Durkis.
Yeah.
Throw him into the mix. 1,100 yards in 4 games.
Well, this is huge, though, for Coach Bud Osmond because, as we said, they being Oak Hill have Eastbrook next week in that huge matchup over at Eastbrook. And if Joel was a game time decision, if he could go if they had to have him, but the fact that they don't have to have him and get him rested and even more healthy for next week, that's a huge bonus. Ullman approaches. Oh, and going to the turf to field the kickoff that time was Towner, and he will be down inside the 20 and will spot the ball just outside of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
That's unfortunate. Look at how much room he had if he was able to stay on his feet. Probably would have gotten a big chunky yardage, much better field position than what they are now on the 16.
Last week, Oak Hill rolled over Blackford 45-8. Of course, Durkis was out most of that game. Elwood shocked Mississinawa 19-7 in Gas City. But Oak Hill has really put together really just a tremendous football game here this afternoon, and they have Elwood back on their heels.
Number 68, Blaine Harrison.
And now, after the defense of Oak Hill giving up a touchdown, looks like they've made some adjustments there on that first play, not letting Jake Wilson get into the hole.
Josh Derhanchek in on the tackle there for Oak Hill. And that play was the final play of the third quarter, so we'll go into the fourth quarter. Oak Hill on top, 20-7. We'll take a quick break. You're watching CIC football here on WIW-TV and WIW-TV.com. Back with you from Schumann Stadium here on the campus of Ball State University. This is CIC football coming to you from WIW-TV and Indiana Wesleyan. Let's check in really quick with Zach Allen down on the sidelines.
Thank you, Roger. I had to ask the coaches because I noticed Joel Dirks still on the sidelines. So I had to ask him if they were going to play him at all today. And they told me the same answers before. He's ready, but they are unsure if they want to play him or not because of how he got banged up last game. But I also asked him how they thought Christian Livingston and Noah King were playing, and they said playing exceptionally well. But penalties are still the issue. So we're going to have to see how that's going to be later on and continue with back to you, Roger.
All right, thank you, Zach. Wilson only 2 yards in that first game. That time, Savage with the rollout was looking downfield, nothing there, and he's hauled down for no gain. And on the tackle for Oak Hill, like Hardcastle and number 51 for Oak Hill, Kyle Bird as well.
Oak Hill defense looking like they did in the first half, more on this drive. Just everywhere on the field. And interesting, Zach said something about the Eagles complaining about penalties. Imagine what Elwood's thinking like about penalties on defense, especially the unnecessary roughness.
Well, 3 plays, a total of 1 yard, and Elwood will have to kick it away. Back for Oak Hill, taking it at the 48 Livingston. Inside the 40, diving forward, down at the 38-yard line. On that last tackle, that was, I saw 4. That was Ray Osmond in on the tackle along with Kyle Bird. Not Brody Hardcastle. Nothing against Brody, but he just kind of walked into the screen at the end of the play. And I'm sure Ray wants to get credit for the tackle.
I don't know if anybody actually could be credited with the tackle. He just kind of fell to the ground, Livingston did. Not really anybody wrapped him up.
Oak Hill, 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Outstanding field position here. In motion goes Livingston to the right. Fakes the pitch, inside handoff on the man coming the other way. That was, I think, Wes Transier, number 42. Transier only a sophomore. Picks up about 2 yards on that play, and it will be 2nd and 8.
Ethan Morris is down for Elwood. That would not be beneficial to their defense that's already given up quite a bit on the ground today.
Senior defensive lineman down for Elwood. He's had a few tackles this afternoon.
I hope everything's okay. Looks a little shaken up. Looks like the trainer's really looking at his eyes and his responses to, looks like it might be lower body, though.
Well, after this football game, we have one more for you. So take a look at this replay. See the inside handoff to Transier. Hard to see where the injury is. You get tangled up there on that interior line. Coming up after this, we'll have Eastbrook and Mississinewa in our fourth and final game this afternoon. 7 p.m. start. Should be a good one. Eastbrook looking to keep pace here with Oak Hill and remain undefeated in the CIC. Noah King slips one tackle. Another! Still on his feet, 25-20. He's going to go the distance, 10-5. Touchdown! Oh, he's almost tripped up, but he goes into the end zone for the score. And just like that, Oak Hill pulls away big time now, 26-7, and that probably puts the icing on the cake here this afternoon.
Third touchdown for Noah King. We've seen him do that all day. Not a lot of those big runs up the middle, but that one he breaks free, break a couple arm tackles, and then a nice little finesse move there at the end to get past the last defender, probably the safety for Elwood.
38 yards on the carry for Noah King. He has 169 yards. You see, Jake Wilson got the big carry and took over the yardage title in this game, and a fumble on the extra point attempt. So it'll remain 26-7. Noah had to get the total yardage title back. 169 yards here. The replay.
There you see 3 broken tackles and then a little juke move there at the end on the safety. I think he thought he was home free. Almost was tripped up at the last second by Landon Deal. Fortunate that he was over the goal line when that happened.
We kind of hinted at that earlier, even in the first half when Noah King had about 20 carries, but he's the kind of back that he just can get stronger and stronger. Where he might not have the burst of speed of a Joel Durkis, but later in the game, defense wears out. He's getting stronger, breaking tackles and pulling away.
Exactly, and that's also a testament to the offensive line. I think they've gotten better as this game has gone along as well, and the fact that Durkis can have 1,100 yards, you got to give some credit to the offensive line for what they do, the push that they get off the line of scrimmage, the holes that they open, and Noah King benefiting from that as well, and he's had a huge day, but can't discount what the offensive line has done.
Well, Oak Hill takes only 3 plays to get that touchdown on the board. They take the 26-7 lead. 10 minutes and 2 seconds to go here in regulation. But what a response, I think, from Oak Hill. After Elwood got the touchdown, drew within a touchdown extra point, Oak Hill drove 81 yards, got the score, got a stop, and responded again with another touchdown. And they've totally taken over this football game. Jake Wilson driven all the way back to the 5-yard line. Gets out across the 20, 25, little room. Hey, he could go at the 40, the 45. Midfield to the left sideline. Makes a cut at the 30. Still on his feet at the 20. And finally hauled down, but not before he gets inside the 15. And brought down at the 13-yard line. There's about 3 times there. You thought he was going to go to the house, but instead he's stopped at the 13-yard line. But a great return there by Jake Wilson.
Don't discount them yet. They're not out of this yet. Jake Wilson is doing everything he can. A great return, great blocking down the field by the Panthers. No penalty flags. That's a testament to the blockers upfield. Jake Wilson, good vision to see those holes.
Well, a touchdown saving tackle that time for Oak Hill by Reed Newhouse. But it'll be 1st and 10 for Elwood. And off to Zane Boyer. Inside, he may have fumbled the football, and the Eagles say they have it, and they do. Oh, what a heartbreaker there for Elwood. After the big play, after the big return, they fumble on the first play from scrimmage.
That's the first turnover for Elwood, and it comes at a costly moment when they're in the red zone, about to make this game a little bit closer at least. And that's Jake Wilson's just got to be shaking his head about that one.
See who is that? The bottom of the pile there for Oak Hill. I can't see who recovered that fumble. And for Oak Hill was number 10, Alex Henry, getting underneath there and coming away with the fumble for Oak Hill. Inside handoff. King bounces off one tackler and Fights his way for a
Avoiding the
gain
ball carrier.
of about 5 yards. Make it 2nd down and 5. Spot the ball at the 13-yard line.
J.D. Salee.
You wonder if Oak Hill will just, if they could run out 9 minutes of this clock. Based on what we saw in the first half, I wouldn't put it past them, especially starting this deep.
Salee in on the tackle there for Elwood. Well, Oak Hill definitely has had some long drives. I believe their longest of the day was some 13 plays in the first half, their second drive. But they're certainly capable of putting it together. Another handoff, pickup of 7 yards for Noah King as he plows his way out to the 20-yard line. 30th carry for Noah King.
Boy, he has had a great day filling in for Joel Durkis, and that's the production you want out of a halfback.
30 carries and 181 yards. Well, that Elwood player down on the field is Derek Bryant. If there's anyone they can't afford to lose for any length of time, it's Derek Bryant, their leading tackler. 5'11", 195-pound linebacker, the senior. He's played a good football game. He's a tough-nosed player. Had a great game against Mississippi last week.
There you see him 57 in the linebacker position. Maybe just,
I think he got a knee to the thigh that time. I think that's Terhanchuk that was coming through. Well, a loss of a yard on that play.
and Bryant's coming right back on the field. Can't keep him out for long.
2nd down and 11 after the loss of a yard. Clock continues to tick. We approach the 8-minute mark. The first game this morning, Alexandria beat Madison Grant 40-27. Frankton was all over Blackford 44-0 in our second game. And here in the third game, Oak Hill, a very impressive performance really on both sides of the football, leads 26-7. Noah King on that carry. Picks up, we'll give him 4 yards. Maybe 3. We'll call it 3. That'll be 3rd down and 8 for Oak Hill.
If Oak Hill gets the jug after this game, I'd
The
say
milk can.
give Noah King a little recovery drink from that. Let him.
Doubt.
He's done his part today.
Pitch to the left side. Livingston wrapped up and taken down at the 26-yard line. So it'll be 4th down for Oak Hill, and they'll have to kick it away. So on a rare punt here for Caleb Maggard. So we're under 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Jake Wilson back at his own 40-yard line to receive the punt. High snap. Maggard gets it away. Good punt to the left sideline. Takes a bounce at the 38. Left turn out of bounds. Oh my goodness, where is this referee going?
Jake Wilson saying, no, it went out there.
All right, well, he got right back to the correct spot. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line for Elwood.
6:36 down 3 scores is pretty impossible to ask anybody to come back from, but Elwood, especially with their offensive woes so far in this game, can't expect them to do much about trying to win this game.
No, I thought Oak Hill really dodged a bullet in the first half. They had those 3 turnovers, but had the 14-0 lead. Now, there's flags all over the place, but those 3 turns didn't come back to haunt them as you think they might. And they've done a much better job in the second half to taking care of the football.
False start in the offense. Repeat 1st down.
Meanwhile, second half penalties have really hurt the Elwood Panthers. Slowed down some drives. given Oak Hill a first down on a couple drives when they may have stalled. So it's 1st and 15 now for the Panthers. I formation. Rolling to his left is Savage. He's on the run. And he's going to be brought down for no gain. And out there making the stop for Oak Hill was Josh Turanchik. Called his name a few times this afternoon.
Yeah, there's just the defense that Oak Hill has had all day. Elwood had a couple good drives here in the third quarter, but overall, Oak Hill just nasty defense, unable to do much against it.
Inside handoff, nothing going there for Zane Boyer as he met big Ray Osmond right in the hole, and Ray pulls him down for no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
A great push by the defensive line. Elwood just looks a little bit tired, and Oak Hill looks like they could play this hard-nosed football all day long.
Savage under center. He'll roll to his right. Has time and some room. He's going to tuck it away and run with it now. Hit hard at the 43-yard line. Falls forward to the 45, but he'll be well short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go. I wonder if Elwood might even think about going for it here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Here's a replay, and
Elwood, timeout. First of the half.
looked like he was thinking about throwing, but he just kept his legs running. Didn't look like a designed run, but he didn't have many options to throw to.
Well, Elwood has called their first timeout here of the second half. It's 4th down and 6 yards to go for a first. The ball's at the 45-yard line, but they trail 26-7. You know, do you punt it away and concede the game, or do you say, hey, let's go for it? Why not? I think they're going to go for it.
You really have nothing to lose.
Nope. Get Grayson Savage maybe out, rolling out again. I don't know if they have a play somehow to get Jake Wilson the ball in space. We've seen him when he has room. He's in space. Very speedy, very shifty. He's a hard man to bring down.
I'm just surprised Elwood hasn't tried to use his pass more, especially in that first half. The run game was absolutely going nowhere. We saw a couple drives where they got it going a little bit here in the second, but I would have liked to have seen Grayson Savage throw the ball a little bit more to try to get some bigger plays down the field than what they've been able to do so far.
Well, Oak Hill with a victory here today, looking to retake possession of the coveted milk can.
4th down and 6 for the Elwood Panthers.
They'll look to defend it next week against Eastbrook.
I think they should rename it the milk can. I don't know if that's got a trophy ring to it.
How about the Rusty Spittoon?
There you go.
Like that.
You
It's
should
got a
trademark that.
Now that was a lateral, and throwing it down the field, but picked off by McDivitt. There's a flag on the play. McDivitt brings it across midfield. That was a lateral to Tice Towner, who was looking down the field, and I think this one is going to be a pass interference on Oak Hill.
Yeah, they got tripped up in the secondary.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It wasn't intentional, it didn't look like, but still, contact was made.
I'd be very interested to see the replay here, because if the players just got tangled up, I don't think it's pass interference. But I think that's what the call is going to be.
Little trickeration. I like that from Elwood. That's
Yeah.
a good play call.
Pass interference on the defense.
There you see that throw is indeed a lateral.
bottom of the
There's
Result of
screen.
the play is an Elwood first down.
couldn't really see there. But you did see Aaron Litherland going down to the turf. But it will be a Elwood first down, 1st and 10 from the Oak Hill 40. Inside handoff to Boyer, has some room off the left side. First down, inside the 30, down to the 20, and finally knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. You know,
Good
Elwood has
run.
had a few, had two good drives today, or in the second half. The one resulted in a touchdown, the second did not.
Yeah, Oak Hill just defensively has been solid. A couple plays here and there. One drive where Elwood really had their way, but other than that, a good run by Boyer there, but the defense is just not giving up a whole lot.
36 yards for Boyer after that carry. Gets it one more time, 15-10. Breaks through a tackle and dives forward after a gain of 12 yards. He'll get a first down for Elwood. It'll be first and goal. Spot the ball at the 7-yard line. 48 yards now for Boyer on 8 carries. Wilson left side, not much there. Picks up maybe a yard, if that.
Number 2, Jake Wilson, the ball carrier. Number 70, Owen Perkins makes the tackle.
Second down and goal for Elwood, spotted at the 8-yard line.
If
Oh,
nothing
that's
else,
7.
Elwood would like to get a touchdown here and at least make the score look closer than it was.
Boyer breaks one tackle, gets down inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line.
32, Zane Boyer, the ball carrier.
It'll be third and goal. Getting a heavy dose of Zane Boyer right now.
12, Josh Duranchik.
Third and goal from the 3, quickly up to the line. Savage. One more time to Boyer, nothing there. No, the ball's loose. Actually keeping it was Savage. He gets a yard.
Faked me out.
Yeah, he did. So it'll be fourth and goal from the 2-yard line. Elwood taking little time. They get up to the line quickly. Wilson with the carry. He'll stop short of the goal line. The Oak Hill Golden Eagle defense comes up with the stop. And so fourth and goal. Oak Hill with the stop will take over on downs.
That's what we've seen all day. Good job of getting in the gaps between the offensive linemen there from the defensive line of Oak Hill.
Can't see who was in on the bottom of the pile there for Oak Hill, but Turhanchik again on top of the pile. But yeah, that interior line just forming a wall that time, and Elwood's drive is shut down. That was a good drive for Elwood. They had 10 plays on that drive. They had marched the ball, but that's the way their afternoon has gone. They have not been able to get points on the board. Noah King breaks a tackle, leaps over one defender, out across the 10 to the 15-yard line, a pickup of 14 yards in that carry for Noah King.
He just keeps plugging along. He's a workhorse. How many carries does he have? Quite a bit.
32 carries, 198 yards unofficially. Thanks to our spotter, Corey Key, for keeping the stats for us today, but goodness gracious. I think the question about can Oak Hill function without Joel Durkis has been answered.
Yes.
But you know they want him back too, no question about that.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's amazing, but the offense looks like they haven't skipped a beat.
King fights his way for a yard on that carry. But you said it a little bit earlier. We haven't said their names very much, but credit goes to this offensive line for Oak Hill. They're opening holes not only for Durkis when he's been in there early in the year, but now for Noah King. We've seen Livingston with some nice carries. This offensive line does a great job.
Yeah, and they'll move to 6-0 and 4-0 in the conference. It sets up a huge game depending on what happens later tonight with Eastbrook next week. And if Oak Hill plays defense the way they did tonight, they're going to be difficult to beat even at Eastbrook.
Boy, that should be a great game next week here on WIW-TV. As we approach the 2-minute mark. Noah King with the carry. Just picks up a yard or two that time. Elwood is going to take their second time out. But with that carry, his 34th carry of the ball game, and a pickup of 2 yards, Noah King has gone over 200 yards for the game, 201.
Pretty good day at the office. I wouldn't complain about that.
But listen to this. We'll talk about Eastbrook, and we have them coming up in just a little bit this evening. But that Oak Hill Eastbrook matchup, Eastbrook offensively averaging 46.5 points a ball game. They're giving up only 8.5 points a ball game. So something's going to have to give next week between these two teams.
Can't wait to see what it is.
Good shot of the Coach Bud Osmond right before that, and the Eagles sideline cheerleaders. As we said, we'll see Eastbrook, Mississinawa later tonight, and then next week, Oak Hill at Eastbrook here on WIWTV, WIWTV.com. McDivitt under center, 2nd down and 8. Rolling to his right, he'll keep it. Turns upfield and goes down after a short gain. Actually, that was 3rd down. Make it 4th down now, 4th and long. Oak Hill will
Elwood, timeout.
kick it away.
So
Elwood will use their
final.
3rd and final timeout.
Well, this will give Elwood one last chance to try to get some momentum heading into their next game. This is a design run by McDivitt just around the outside, trying to kill more of that clock.
Okay, I've got another trivia for you as we take a look at the Oak Hill sideline. Since we've been talking about trophies, college football, how about the Golden Egg? Who plays for the Golden Egg, Kyle? The Egg Bowl.
I don't know. Somebody whose mascot is a hen or something? Maybe?
No, it's Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Oh.
It has to
I'm
be
sorry,
something from
I'm,
Mississippi.
You
to
are
play
a
for an
fountain
egg.
of information, Roger, and I am not, clearly.
How about this? The pig, Floyd of Rosedale. Who's a pig, bronze pig, Floyd of Rosedale.
I can picture the trophy. I have
It's
no
a
idea
Big
who
Ten
plays.
matchup.
Wisconsin?
Iowa, Minnesota.
Oh. I'm not a Hawkeye fan. I'm an Illinois
No.
fan, so there you go.
Maggard back to punt for Oak Hill. Gets that one away. End over end, taken by Wilson at the 47. Tries to spin out of a tackle, but he's taken down right there. And in on the tackle for Oak Hill. Well, guess who? It was Noah King. He's rushed for 201 yards. Covers the punt.
Elwood starts 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line.
I don't know if we have a Chick-fil-A player of the game or not. If we were going to have a player game, I'd go with Chick-fil-A as our sponsor. But
Yeah.
if we did, it'd be Noah King
Give Noah King a chicken sandwich after this. He deserves it.
with pickle. Quick hitter, flies out of bounds. Incomplete pass. That was close to a lateral there. Waiting to see if where the official spotted out of bounds, but it will be just incomplete. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Elwood Panthers. Approaching the 2-minute mark. It's been all Oak Hill this afternoon. Almost all Oak Hill. Elwood had that one really impressive drive where they marched 81 yards, got the touchdown from Jake Wilson. But after that, Oak Hill took all the momentum right back. On the run, Savage throws, and they'll have it picked off. No, out of bounds.
Pass is incomplete. 3rd down.
Oh.
It'll be 3rd down now for Elwood.
Boy, Oak Hill's defense has just looked very impressive to me. Everybody knows about their running game, and they didn't even have Joel Durkis today, but their defense really contributed a lot to this win. They'll be a little bit unsung heroes compared to, obviously, talking about Noah King, but next week will be interesting to see which defense performs better when Oak Hill plays Eastbrook.
Savage has Wilson as his lone setback. Play action rolls to the right. Being chased by Perkins. Throws out a run, picked off. Fumbled now, and did Elwood get it back? Landon Deal. No, Oak Hill
Ball.
will have the football. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Who was it that made that interception? Was that
I'll give
King?
you a guess. Yeah.
Noah King with the interception. Now we'll have to say with the fumble as well.
First and 10, Golden
Boy, he must be in great shape. I would not be able to keep going if I were him.
He is a wrestler. Good athletes. It'll be first down for Oak Hill, and looks like they're just going to take the snap without any timeouts. Elwood can't stop the clock. All Oak Hill has to do is snap the football and take a knee. McDivitt will hand it off to King, but before the play, there's a flag, no play.
Ball start against the offense.
They're eager to get this game over with, seems like.
Eager Eagles.
That's the second time I've stumbled on my words. Gotta clean my act up a little bit here.
Playing with this offensive lineman, Roy Osmond, Cade Sheffield, Owen Perkins. They've done a great job this afternoon. A dominating performance. Well, both offensive and defensive lines. King breaks free.
Oh, boy.
Midfield. He looked for contact at the 40 and goes down at the 35. And Noah King was like, where's the defender? And he went and hit him. But a big play for Noah King. 26 yards, 227 yards now on the afternoon for Noah King. Minute 12 and counting. I spoke a little too soon. They probably could not have taken a knee at that point. They can now, though, and they'll line up in that victory formation. Well, clock will stop, though, with a false start here on Oak Hill. Well, coming up at 7 p.m. Stay tuned to WIWTV.com for Eastbrook and Mississinewa.
That'll be a fun game tonight, too. We're talking about Oak Hill and Eastbrook next week, but Mississinewa Eastbrook is a good matchup as well.
They're lining up in victory formation. Oak Hill takes the last snap, and that'll be the football game. A solid performance on both sides of the field. Oak Hill now moves to 6-0, overall 4-0 in conference play with the 26-7 victory here over the Elwood Panthers. And there's the milk can at the 45-yard line. Oak Hill will take that back home to mirror with them this afternoon.
They should paint Noah King's face on there instead of their mascot.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes to put a wrap on this one as the Golden Eagles walk off the field with the milk can. Your final score, once again, 26-7. Don't go away, though. We'll be right back.
They say I've been handed a heritage. Now it's time to leave a legacy. I woo, we the team with the recipe. You can talk about it, I don't let it get the best of me. Why? Cause we're under his shield. Ain't too many people get to know how it feels to be the next year champs only under his will. And we putting everybody right in front of us, still fearless. We enter in the season, no miss. Team with the spirit, everybody know this. Glory to the Father, hooked us up with the assists. And we praying for the roster, checking people off the list.
Back here to put a wrap on this one from Schulman Stadium at Ball State University. Oak Hill with the big 26-7 victory over Elwood Panthers. And there you see Coach Bud Osmond wrapping this one up with his Golden Eagles. We're going to send it down to the field with Zach Allen. He's joined by our Chick-fil-A player of the game, Noah King.
I'm here with Noah King. Noah, great game today. First question, how were you guys able to keep Elwood to just 7 points today?
We just worked really hard on defense. Practice this week, we had an extra day that went over defense just to stop their run game.
With Joel Durkis, he was on the sideline today. You had to step in his place. You played a phenomenal game. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Joel's a lot better runner than I am, and he really helped me out in the locker room and just tried to keep me in there. I just tried to fill my job as a backup.
Now, with being a junior, playing at Ball State University, what is just the atmosphere here? What do you just grow from out of this?
It was excitement. It was just great. We were looking forward to it all year, and we got a new complex, but this one's definitely a lot better.
Next week, you guys have a huge game against Eastbrook. How are you guys going to prepare for that, and how are you guys going to try to beat Eastbrook and stay undefeated?
Well, just work on defense, stop the run, stop the pass, and probably watch their game here against Missinawall and see what we have to do to stop them.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Noah. Back to you, Roger.
All right, thanks, Zach. Thanks, Noah. And bit of a homecoming for the King family. I think Noah's mom, an outstanding athlete here as well. She was an outstanding swimmer. So Ball State has some special memories here for the King family. Well, once again, Kyle, when you talk about this football game, Noah King, certainly the story in terms of what he did running the football, but the guys in the trenches, the guys that, you know, that don't get their names mentioned or in the limelight, both sides of the football, the trenches really just did an outstanding job this afternoon for Oak Hill.
Definitely, the offensive line was great as we expected, but the defense wins championships, and it was clear today they stopped Elwood in their tracks. Elwood had 2, 3 maybe good drives. Other than that, nothing, not even from Jake Wilson. Most of the game he had a couple big plays that busted loose, but overall containing Elwood's offense. Oak Hill defense was very impressive to me. The offensive line was as well, but credit the defense.
You know, Jake Wilson did finish with about 122 yards, but half of those virtually coming on one carry. So even though Oak Hill shut him down in a sense, he still showed why he's a great back with that 122 yards. Back down to the field with Zach Allen and Coach Bud Osmond.
Thanks, Roger. I am here with head coach Bud Osmond. Coach, great game today. I remember I caught up with you before halftime, and I asked you kind of thoughts to going into the second half. How do you think you went into it and accomplished those goals that you wanted to go?
Well, we continue to play pretty good defense. They came out, and you give Elwood credit. They found a weakness, and they exposed it and was able to go down the field a couple of times, put one in on us. Fortunately, our guys were able to hold a couple of times inside the red zone, so that obviously worked in our benefit. The offense, we were able to put another score up and kind of give ourselves some momentum and a little bit of breathing room. We're still not taking care of the ball like we need to, and that's got to be a focus this week because it's just going to get tougher from here on out.
We noticed that Joel Durkis was on the sideline today. Was just keeping him off, was just kind of being a safety caution, or just holding him off for next week with the big game?
Well, a little of both. You know, Joel's got a sore shoulder. I think he probably could have played, but Noah King has stepped in and done such a good job at the fullback spot to kind of carry us through the last couple of weeks. We felt like if we could get through today, give Joel another week of rest and rehab, because he's such a huge factor of what we do, and we're going to need him down the stretch. You know, we've got Eastbrook, Missinawall, Madison Grant all coming up, and we've got to be as close to 100% as possible for that group. And so it was a risk, it was a gamble to sit Joel out. Fortunately, it paid off. We get another week's of rest for Joel, and I anticipate him being pretty close to 100% next week.
Now, looking at next week against Eastbrook, at Eastbrook, what are your thoughts going into that matchup?
Well, that's a huge county rivalry, and when you talk about the CIC, Eastbrook's been at the top most years. We've come along and won a conference championships. Somebody else has come along, but the consistency is that Eastbrook's always at the top. So they are really, every year going in, you know that you circle that game on the calendar. You know if you're going to win the conference, you have to go through Eastbrook, and that's really our focus from here on out. Is our guys are going to be completely focused on Eastbrook. All the other stuff, county rival, all that is kind of secondary, because we know we've got to get through Eastbrook if we're going to be there at the end competing for the conference title. And
you guys are still undefeated right now, but what are some things that you guys think you can still work on going into next week?
Well, we've got to protect a little bit better and throwing the ball. Our protection was not strong today. Obviously, hanging on to the ball, we put it on the ground way too often. So those are big things, and we just got to be like we've got to make better adjustments. Elwood made a good adjustment at halftime and was able to move the ball on us. We've got to be able to adjust quicker to shut that down than to wait, almost a full quarter before we figure it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach, and congrats on the win. Back to you, Roger.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Bud Osmond, for joining us this afternoon. Once again, your final score 26-7 for Oak Hill. And Kyle, again, really dominating performance here for the Golden Eagles, and we get a chance to look at some statistics here. Passing yards, only 43 yards, and we don't expect, big passing yards, but the big key is only allowing 14 yards passing. Rushing yards, obviously, they're the huge difference, 329 yards on the ground, 227 of those coming from Noah King, but, also for Oak Hill, Adam McDivick, quarterback, had a big carry of 41 yards. Livingston had 61 yards on the ground as well with 9 carries. So some balance there, but of course Noah King with the majority of that load. 372 yards, though, that just dominating performance.
Yeah, exactly. And Oak Hill shutting down Elwood's attack. 170-some for Elwood on the ground is still good, but I would have liked to have seen them try to pass the ball a little bit more. Obviously, for Oak Hill, we expect nothing but running yards, which we saw, and just dominating performance there.
Those turnovers, a lot of times stats are like, you don't know how much they mean anymore in football, but usually turnovers do mean a lot. And Oak Hill had 3 turnovers, but all of those came in the first half. They didn't hurt them. They took care of the football much better in the second half. Well, although they almost had a couple turnovers, they still like Coach Osmond said, put the ball on the ground, but the turnovers didn't hurt them today like they could have. They can't afford to have those kind of turnovers next week against Eastbrook.
No, they certainly can't, and I think that's what Coach was emphasizing in the interview is against Eastbrook, a team of that quality, 3 turnovers can really hurt you. It didn't today, but against somebody like Eastbrook, it definitely could.
We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, hopefully have some highlights of this Oak Hill victory. You're watching CIC football from Ball State, coming to you on WIW-TV and WIWTV.com. We'll be right back.
They say I've been handed a heritage. Now it's time to leave a legacy. I woo, we the team with the recipe. You can talk about it, I don't let it get the best of me. Why? Cause we're under his shield. Ain't too many people get to know how it feels to be the nation champs only under his will. And we putting everybody right in front of us, still fearless. We enter in the season, no miss. Team with the spirit, everybody know this. Glory to the Father, hooked us up with the assists. And we praying for the roster, checking people off the list.
Along with Kyle Johnson, I'm Roger Alcock. Of course, we checked in with Zach Allen down on the field. Wrap this one up here. Let's get your final score. Oak Hill 26, Elwood 7. The third of four games here from Muncie, Indiana, and Ball State University, CIC football extravaganza. It's been a football palooza here this afternoon.
There's the Roger Alcock edition.
But it really, as we said, as we wrap this one up, just an outstanding performance by Oak Hill on both ends of the field. We're going to take a look at some highlights here from the second half. And Kyle, as we take a look at these things, Elwood, trailed 14-0 at the half. They put together a great drive, and this was the biggest play of the ball game when Jake Wilson broke loose for some 55 yards and gave Elwood some life.
This really seemed like it flipped a switch for Elwood. They ended up scoring to pull within one touchdown, but Oak Hill responded with two quick touchdowns of their own and closed the door pretty quick. But it seemed at the time that Elwood was getting some momentum.
But Oak Hill took that momentum right back. They marched down the field, and it was capped off by this Noah King touchdown. 2 of his, 227 yards on the afternoon.
Well, he had a big day. We got a chance to talk to him. Filling in for Joel Durkis, and he really did a phenomenal job behind that offensive line. That was his third touchdown.
Yeah, that touchdown for Noah, maybe one that kind of 38 yards, but solidified or exemplified what his game was like. He bounced off 3 or 4 tacklers, got an open field. He doesn't have quite the speed of Durkis, but just a lot of fight and will, and plows his way for 38 yards and a touchdown, making contact the whole way.
Well, King and the offensive line, I think, wore down Elwood's defense as the game progressed. And Noah King, a very physical runner anyways, but able to really, towards the end of the game, break loose a couple of runs behind that offensive line, and you see the physicality of Oak Hill's offense.
We even saw him later in the game come away with an interception when Elwood was once again working their way down the field. The game at that point was probably already, or the outcome had probably already been determined, but he made the interception there, fumbled the football, but Oak Hill was able to keep it. Well, with the victory here this afternoon, Oak Hill, as we said, moves to 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in the CIC. They remain undefeated. Earlier today, Alexandria beat Madison Grant 40-27. Frankton all over Blackford 44-0. And now the nightcap, the final game this evening will be Eastbrook coming into this ballgame 5-0, 3-0 in CIC play, taking on Mississinewa, a team that beat Eastbrook twice last year. Should be a great ball game.
Yeah, I think one of the big keys for Eastbrook is to not overlook Mississinewa. There's a lot of hype surrounding Eastbrook Oak Hill next week. Mississinewa is a talented football team, and they got to focus on this game at hand before they look ahead to next week.
Well, the milk can will be paraded through Swayze and Sweetser tonight on its way back to Oak Hill. Once again, for the final time, your final score in this one, Oak Hill 26, Elwood 7. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 20 with more football with Eastbrook and Mississinewa here on WIW-TV, WIWTV.com.